Sorry that I quit before you. Sorry that I quit before I walk your steps. I'm wondering now. Can I just peel this normally? Like, why am I so difficult? I'm sorry to everyone who's witnessing this. This cannot be that hard. Like, what am I doing? What?
0, you're gonna get injured. So
I still fell off it twice though, so I'm sorry. Do your best or have an amazing time. Live in the moment. In fun about thrashing then I was just
Dude, I need to freaking record while I live. Like, I literally cannot. I suck at life. Okay. So much. Well.
gems for 20 seconds.
Wrap up some greens and throw it in there.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yo, calm down. It's too early in the morning for this. No, it was so good. No, 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 no. What's going on? Bro. No, stop. Stop. It was so good. It was probably my best. Dude, it was such a good pour too. Like, it was such a good pour. Then you have the second wing, then you have the 3 hearts and the last heart, and look how I messed it up. Damn it. What? I got this big package for one item. I got a whole box for this, for a freaking brush. Now that is cool. That is cool. Yeah, in the oven.
Alright.
Thanks, you.
Like Fiora, Camille is bug. Or
they wouldn't go deep into the tier 2 area. They would just charge him up 2 waves. He loses 2 waves, 3 waves. But they get live shutdowns.
Oh, let's see if the extraction's gonna be good. So a lot of people, and I definitely did not have. Okay, calm down. Oh my god, my hair is a mess. I'm so confused. Wait! I think I put it on wrong. Oh my god. No way. I put it on the wrong side. How do I always... Here? Ooh. Oh! That is genius. Wow. I might be an idiot. Ah! Okay, wait. Oh! Oh! Oh my god. This is forever.
Kid vinyasa too, and I'm like, it's probably why. Dude, I got 7.
Okay, I'm making like ribs. I have to go marinate actually right now. Oyster sauce. There we go. Okay. Get some ribs.
Ribs.
Yep. Oh! Hey, why is it burning? Hey! I feel like I should drain some of this out. I feel like it's gonna end really badly. Dude, what am I doing? Nice.
Too much milk in this.
Hey, bro.
We got a whole roll for milk.
Is someone paying for the lattes or not?
You drank as much milk.
My MRI results came back in.
Yeah?
I have 4 herniated discs.
No shit. Are you serious?
Yeah. So yeah, the mystery's been solved why I've been napping like 3 hours every single day. That's probably why I dropped the cup too.
What cup and Butterfingers?
No, I woke up in the morning, I'll go and make a latte, and I was just, oop, it's out of my hand.
So you're blaming your Butterfingers on your back injury. Got it.
Yeah.
Was that your nerve damage?
Nerve damage.
He's like, let me tell you.
I'm very sure.
This is how I dropped the coffee. What are you at the competition? You're like, no. It's like the perfect cup. You're just like handing it to them.
And I drop it. How does this even work? It's like wiggling lines. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. But my picture's not coming in.
Why is it so thick? I don't know, man. I don't know why. I was freaking suffering. Ah, why is it so broken? I can't even see anything.
they're absolutely
It
trash,
was-
and you're
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this isn't competition.
Yeah. No offense, but Ghost.
Get some facial treatments. I've been dealing with acne a lot for the last couple of
Yeah.
Yeah. I should have done that with the
Lily.
You lost?
Lily.
Yeah, I
Lily.
lost.
Lily.
Lily.
Lily, get down. Was it busy?
I got busier when I left. Let's see what this is all about. Come back. Ah. Yes. Are you guys doing anything later today?
Me.
It's a different story.
It's mental.
Yeah, it is a lot of mental. So it's like trial by error or whatever. So I'm getting my reps in. This Coda Paxi event, the one yesterday, the competition yesterday.